There's a massive ship rebalance coming to Sea of Thieves that's going to absolutely shake up the way we play the game and the way Sea of Thieves runs as a whole. And it's safe to say this is looking like the biggest change in ships since the introduction of harpoons. Now, every boat's getting affected here, so listen up, there's a lot to get through and we're going to try and do it in the quickest time possible. But hey, since I got you here, do you want a serpent sail for your ship? I bet you do. You know you do. Lucky for you, you can. All you need to do is leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and of course, comment your favorite boat down below with your gamer tag attached. Just make sure the spelling's right. And hey, feel free to share it with your friends and get them to do it as well. What's the harm in increasing your chances? So, as mentioned, the changes we are looking at is a complete rebalance on the way ship speeds and maneuverability works. For those who don't know, although I'm sure you probably all do, wind speed and wind direction determines on how fast a boat can go. And so, this is the new format moving forward. If you do have a tailwind, which means the wind is blowing from the back to the front of your boat with the sails being completely straight, you'll find the galleon will be the fastest, the brig will be the second fastest, and the sloop will be the slowest. With a headwind, which means the sails are getting blown directly front on, so from the front of the boat to the back, you'll find the sloop is the fastest, the brig is the average, and the galleon is the worst. With a side wind, which means the wind is blowing from left to right or right to left, doesn't really matter, you'll find the galleon is the fastest, the brig is the average, and the sloop is the slowest. However, this totally depends on sails catching wind. So for example, if two of the brig sails catch wind at a crosswind and only one of the sails on a galleon catch wind on crosswind, you'll find the brig is going to be faster instead of the galleon. And that sort of translates everywhere, if that makes sense. Now, in addition to all of this, flat sails, which means the sails are in their native position, so directly straight, if that makes any sense, is no longer beneficial at all on any boat. So angling the sails is the only way to reduce the impact that a headwind will have. And in addition to all those orientation changes, another really big change that's coming that I briefly touched on before is that the number of sails catching the wind is the most important impact to the sail speed of a ship. Which for the sloop this makes no real difference, but for the brig and the galleon this is a game changer for sure. I know I gave that previous example before explaining that, but just the really easy way to understand what that means in a real sense is more sails in the wind, more speed. And they've also confirmed they're going to be closely looking at these ship speed changes, so it's not unlikely to assume there's going to be some minor tweaks around this new mechanic that's being brought in, but it is sort of the setting stone placement for what we're going to see moving forward. So there's a few big reasons they've done this. The primary one is that the brig was originally the best boat in the game. You could ask anyone who's played this game for long enough. The brig was the fastest, the most agile, and the easiest to use. This has now changed with the brig being taken back to just an average boat, while the galleon and the sloop now have certified strong suits in different situations, which is really interesting to see a game where the brig is no real leading prevailer in any situation whatsoever. However, that's not to say that the brig is going to be completely useless moving forward, as it is the most stable and well-rounded boat that you can rely on in most situations. And in addition to that, here's a few real-world situations that I'm sure you're probably going to find most noticeable with these new changes. As far as sloops go, they'll no longer be able to escape from other boats by going directly into a headwind. That is now being removed. A crosswind on a brig is now no longer going to be the fastest a ship can move in Sea of Thieves, and it's been replaced with a full-sail galleon, which makes sense. And lastly, you're going to find playstyles change just a little bit, with dead winding being an absolutely useless strategy now that can only hinder you. So expect a lot more diagonal movements and interesting changes during combat. But with that being said, these are the major changes coming to Sea of Thieves and the new ship rebalance. So as I mentioned earlier, let me know what your favorite change is and what your favorite boat is for a chance to win a serpent sail. And I'm going to catch you all in the next videos. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you all later. Good luck if you enter the serpent sail, join the Discord, or ask me on Twitch to see when the winner's been announced. Catch you later.